going to start it off on defense for them. If they start out strong with a full hold on first point, they're going to be looking to snowball that to an already first win on the board.
Watch point is ready. Let's jump right into it.
And welcome back once again, joined by Hurix, is me, Brunj, and it looks like Azire will be potentially going for the Widowmaker again, whereas on the other side, no Widowmaker in sights for Fusion University. But once again, Elk on that Ana, definitely like to see that, considering what we've seen yesterday on Gibraltar.
But they're postured a little bit more aggressively. I mean, look at their positioning here. They're not playing off of that blue box, having their supports way out in the back. We see Ana playing off of low ground at the moment, way over by Forklift. So interesting start to their positioning at the moment. Looks like they want to take an early fight at the moment. And now it seems like they'll back up, but they still don't have that high ground control just yet. Elf looks like he's switching positions now. They just went for that initial poke, and now they're getting back into that more traditional setup with this particular composition.
And at the very least, considering the fact that Who Are You will be on the Genji, he will make things a little bit more difficult for Azire, and as a result, he will make the swap over from the Widowmaker to the Genji himself, and Who Are You already targeted out, will have that Discord on top, but interesting approach coming out of Kungarna, now coming in from the server room. Will look to get potential good team fight here, or at the very least push the supports off of that high ground, as J3 will be regrouped with his team. Doesn't quite commit for it for now, but they're not getting too much out of these poking engages they are having right now.
Well, they're going to get it back over towards Car Wash and just set themselves up here. Now they have to try to find some way to try to DNS these supports or try to get some kind of pit going. And already Azire falls, but Haku returns fire, taking down the opposing Zenyatta from server room as he's looking to try to find more. Kraken Lakin was taken down kind of low, but getting some heals now from Elk, who did pop out the nano boost, but he will fall right after doing just that. And we'll have to see if they're able to clean up here. Kraken Lakin losing his mech there as well. Kungarna already off to a pretty decent start.
Considering the time as well, already being able to take that first point means that they're looking good moving forward. Considering Haku is good to go with that Transcendence, we will see them clean things up, stagger the opposition as well, so they should be able to set up not only a good position moving into the hangar phase, but also quite a bit of distance on that payload, as even Who Are You will be under a bit of pressure for now.
Another important factor to talk about is that they're not going to be able to set up. Oh, Jesus, that's a big pick to start things off. Azire, Jesus, not slowing down from yesterday's performance at all. And Who Are You? He's going to have to hold onto that blade here. Won't be able to pull that out just yet because, you know, his team's dead. So now with ship control, Vita Coco up top with Harblue. We see him a lot of times on that first map, and then, you know, typically Chain will sub in. We'll have to see if that's going to be the case here. But Sound Barrier to start things off here from Jer.
And Vita Coco will get a kill onto Elk. One of the supports already going down. Make that a second one onto Zachary. Transcendence will be forced out. Alarm going in for that one. But overall, it is Kungarna once again looking strong. Harblue gets Alarm at the back of it. And now, even though Who Are You pops the blade, I don't think he's going to get too much success off of it, as Azire is going to pop one of his own. However, he does manage to, at the very least, get Haku. So one small gain there means that he might stall things out for the rest of his team, but it's all about Kungarna, Jer, as bloodthirsty as ever on that Lucio, once again getting a few more kills, and Kungarna looking to definitely throw a wrench in the works of Fusion University right now.
And when I was kind of talking to teams about what to look out for in this in a tournament like this, you know, they said definitely keep an eye out for Josiah's roster. They're potentially pretty solid in scrims. They look fantastic. Kungarna went ahead and they picked up the core of that roster that included Azire, and you can see why a lot of teams had a lot of respect for this guy, especially where he's just popping off right now against a team that has just looked excellent over the time that we've seen them so far. Jesus has already found a pick again onto Beast Halo. He killed himself off in the process, but again, it does open up that front line a little bit, but seems like Fusion University are not going to slow down. Kraken Lakin takes the torch from Beast Halo as he falls, and they search forward. They finally find a couple of kills to mount a defense for themselves.
And they will be trying to equalize those resources in terms of the ultimates as well, building up quite a few, but There is a small window of opportunity here for Kungarna to potentially get another team fight and quite a bit of distance on the payload. Zachary playing quite far forward onto those supports, but it's going to be Beast Halo once again punished for diving in, going down, making a 6v5. Self-destruct will be launched on both sides. Harville actually gets Zachary somehow off of it, very nicely angled, and it's going to be all about Kungarna picking up the kills they need, cleaning up house as well. And with 3 minutes 25 seconds left on the clock, they're looking poised to potentially get that third point soon enough as well.
Beat Blade, man, the combo. That's what they want to look for here. Izar gonna probably pull out the Blade. They just want to wait out this Transcendence, but who are you? A dash through Izire will take him down, and they might be able to get it done here with Izire out of the picture. Haku pulling back. They don't want to pull the Transcendence out until Who Are You pulls out the Blade himself. That won't be necessary for Fusion University now, so it won't be necessary for Kungarna in turn. Coming back into this fight, though, we'll have to see what comes of the Beat Blade versus the Transcendence Blade between these two Genjis.
And it's really interesting to see Beast Halo always playing so aggressive with the rest of his team being far forward. It was forced to use that Primal Rage, and he got punished quite a bit by this Kungarna lineup. We'll see whether or not the Sound Barrier alongside that Blade will be stronger against the opposing Transcendence alongside Zire's Blade for now, as we'll see them potentially try to engage on top of that particular Zenyatta already taking down Alarm. The Blaze is gonna come out, but no, He gets taken down. Who Are You managed to get another kill onto Jesus as well. And just like that, they're going to once again halt this push. Kraken Lacken picking up 2 kills off of that too. And all of a sudden, we'll see Azire make the swap over to the Widowmaker now, as he did have his Dragon Blade popped out, lost it early, and Jer also onto the Mercy.
Who Are You has had Izire's number in the last few fights. Jesus has had Beast Halos throughout the whole damn map. He finds the Pulse Bomb, start this fight off, and now it's Who Are You coming back into this one as he's looking to try to take down the Zenyatta. It's Haku falling now as nobody can stop the pressure from this Genji. Who Are You pulling the Blade out as he's already low HP. Izire will find the kill, so the Blade is nullified. But now Kungarna still forced to pull back.
And just, oh man, a bit of overconfidence there maybe coming out of Who Are You. However, considering the fact that they do have those 2 supports available, they should still see Preeta. Look at this, Zachary should potentially get a kill. Very nicely done. Sneaky Tracer will manage to get Azire out of the picture, and as a result, it's a 6v5, making that a 6v4, and time's ticking as it's 55 seconds left. Those staggered kills making things even more difficult for Kungarna to close this one out, and Fusion University definitely looking much better on that last point defense.
We've seen so much consistency so far from Jesus throughout this tournament, throughout Group Stage A. Just hasn't stopped yet today, but they're really gonna need him to come up with something big right now. And he has, in the past, seen some big plays. We've seen him starting things off nicely, but it's Haku with a kill onto Zachary. Pulse Bomb at the ready for Jesus. Can he find, the stick? It comes in, but the kill does not follow initially, but there it is as the Primal Rage from Beast Halo. He will die off. Now they're going with the Transcendence to keep everybody alive long enough for the respawns to come in.
And we'll see if it's gonna be enough, as so far we'll at the very least see Azire have an easy time picking off those targets, as he is uncontested for now. Who Are You alongside the rest of his team will manage to stay safe with the use of that Sound Barrier. However, Transcendence is gonna come out of Haku, looking to potentially close things out, as now we are into overtime. Jared did get his Valkyrie. It's all about Azire as he gets 2 kills. However, Alarm somehow gets him with the help of Who Are You, but is it going to be enough, as those 2 on their solo missions get punished? And as a result, Kungarna through overtime get the 4th point as well.
And at the very end, Jesus happening to win the duel against Zachary, his former teammate. So it's a little extra feather in your hat, you know? Something to come away with as you look to now defend against Fusion University, who, as we've seen so far, is one of the best, if not possibly the best, diving team so far in this tournament. Although Izire and Jesus are certainly starting to make a name for themselves, even more so than yesterday. I mean, it's been insane to see the performance between these two, especially Jesus, who's really hit his stride. We've seen him really coming out and having a much better look than what we saw in the Beat Invitational. And I think overall, I mean, the team in general just looks a lot more gelled, but you know, it's Jesus really having a standout performance, I think, more often than not. But now as they look to defend, we'll likely see a pretty similar style to the defense. I mean, they might hold back, you know, on this high ground, really going for this kind of end of the first point type of hold. And that's exactly the case. And Tank's going to be postured up on blue box, it looks like. And I think that's what we're going to be seeing, although Zachary is going to be playing the Widow, so looking to try to get into server room if he can. Exactly the same spot that Haku was able to find that opening pick onto Alarm on their attack, but we'll have to see if Zachary can even get into that position, and if he does, what he can do with it.
At the very least here for Fusion University, considering the fact that they like to play so aggressive on the offenses where they can really shine. Got punished on the defensive side, and interestingly enough, the thing to note here for me, coming out of J3 as on that Tracer, is that throughout the tournament, he's always seemingly going for those tanks when it comes to those pulse bombs. And once you get those frontline members out of the picture, it makes things that much easier for the rest of his team to clean up when you have the likes of Isaiah also performing really well. So we'll note whether or not Zachary, now that he is going to be on the Widowmaker, can find, as you said, those early picks to really start things up and open it in terms of Fusion University's approach.
Now Zachary playing up on top on the high ground, looking to try to make his way into server room if he can, and now they're going to boost him up into that position. So he's here now. Now it's the question of what can he do from this position. They have a good sight line. Jesus tries to come through, almost one clips him down, but it's Who Are You again saving the day.
And we will see Harbler do at the very least take a kill onto Alarm, so it is answer for now, but overall getting super close to that checkpoint. We will see Zachary get another kill, make that a second one. The blade comes out, but gets punished by Jur, and is it going to be enough as these members are still left on the point coming out of Kungarna? They might still do it. Azari gets a kill onto Beast Halo, and the number advantage asset in favor of Kungarna means that they will potentially still hold through, but Zachary, being untouched in that server room, will still manage to find that soldier in the end, as the regroup will happen on both sides. It's still an all-out brawl on the point.
Well, recall down for the Tracer. They have vision throughout. And look how congested their supports are in the backline. Vita Coco goes down, so they won't have that extra little bit of protection from the barrier. And now we'll see Izar coming through. Can he get the job done with the Tac Visor? Who Are You? Gonna be taken down, ripped down at that. And it's gonna be the tanks cleaned up next. Jer. Oh, they snuck it! Nobody was on the point for Kungarna!
And as a result, it will be once again Fusion University coming out on top. They managed to clean things up as well on top of it, so unfortunate there for Kungarna, but they did manage to have a much better looking defense after that first team fight, which definitely was looking on the up and up here for Fusion University. And now so we'll be moving on to the hangar phase. A lot of those support ultimates being available for the attacking side means that they should be favored here into this next team fight.
Here it goes. Transcendence popped as the Primal Rage saves Beast Halo's life for now. They have the sound barrier to follow it up with as the Transcendence goes down, but Who Are You with the blade, man?
We'll manage to find that double kill on both supports, and considering both supports are down, sound barrier not even needed for the side of Elk. It will be all about Fusion University once again pulling through, holding on far forward means that nobody's in sight even close to contesting. Harbler will try to do just that, will not manage to achieve it, and as a result will be taken down. And Fusion University, as said, man, this is where they look at their best when it comes to it. It's their attacking side. It's where they can really use that aggression to its fullest potential.
Who Are You now up on this high ground? This is where Fusion University was able to take so much time away from Kungarna. Now it's going to be the question of whether or not Kungarna can do the same thing. We see the Infrasight coming out from Zachary. They're trying to look for a pick right now to follow up onto the one that they got onto Vita Coco. That's a kill onto the Tracer, Jesus. And they are now stifling the defense as they held them inside of their own spawn. Zachary with a great position to get things done now, but it's now coming from the other side, and it seems as though Vita Coco is just waiting, biding his time. He's looking to engage, but he already got shot twice when he came in, so now he's already forced to pop his Primal Rage. It's Who Are You coming through again with the blade, looking for some kills. I don't think he's going to be able to find any.
unable to find them. It's going to be all about Kungarna and that kill feed, as Zyre is going to be able to clean things up with that double kill off of the Swift Strike. And as a result, they will finally stabilize in terms of their defensive hold. And Haku picking up a late kill onto Elk as well will make things that much better for them. But at the very least, moving forward, Alarm still has the Transcendence. And while the Blade could come out, it could nullify the effectiveness of that ultimate, especially when Jfree already, alongside Vita Coco, under a lot of pressure. And now, as it is a 6v5, we'll see Fusion University looking still for those follow-up kills onto the likes of Harablue. Transcendence will be forced. Haku did get the D-suit. The Blade is going to come out of Zyre. Can he find the kills? No! It's going to be Who Are You getting the best out of that. And as a result, Fusion University now looking to finish off the map with 3 minutes on the clock, as Elk will get Jesus as well at the end. Nobody able to get on the point. As I say that though, Zyre is managing to find 1 kill onto Alarm, so it's not over just yet, but it's really looking dire here as Who Are You gets another kill onto Jer, but Vita Coco still answering. Zyre coming out of spawn will look to do just so as well, and maybe they can still somehow hold on to this payload.
I don't think that we're going to see Fusion capping here. They are backed up as Krakenlaken jumps off the map, dies off. Zachary found a couple of picks, but there's still enough time here for Kungarna to go ahead and get sorted and get back into position now with Haku at 90% towards his Transcendence. So while he does back up into this spawn room, he will be able to pop a Transcendence to come back out of it, unless, of course, he's batted out. But they really need to get Beast Halo up to that 100% to have the Primal Rage to do anything about that, and it doesn't look like that will be the case. So now it's just about biding time, trying to see if maybe Beast Halo can get to that percentage, but they're just going to get aggressive already. Haku already going to pull out of it. They're still body blocking him, but now it's the Diva making the room. Haku comes out.
And Zyre manages to find a counter Zachary, so he's not going to be able to have a shooting gallery for himself off on the back end. We'll see Harablue still contest, the only member on the point. Haku gets a kill, Vita Coco as well. They're still fighting, they're still holding, as we will see Kungarna clean things up, and with 1 minute and 48 seconds remaining, Hurix, they somehow still do it, and they have an ultimate advantage at that as well.
Who Are You has been really good about dealing with Zyre, especially as Zyre gets his blade. But I don't know about this situation here. They have beat again to kind of go along with it. We will see Alarm holding onto a Transcendence, so maybe they're going to wait to bait that out if they can. But expect some aggression from Jesus, flanking around to try to pop that as early as humanly possible.
Sound barrier was used by the defensive side. This is where they're going to look to play aggressive, but Haku is going to go down. Transcendence will at the very least be forced, so if Zyre can follow it up with a good Dragon Blade here, that might be what they need, but they're not on the payload. Only Zyre there means that he will force to use that deflect. Now he's going to be able to pull out the blade. Can he find the kills? No, is the answer. It's going to be Fusion University getting the kills they needed, and as they get the final staggered kills, we'll see the rest of the tanks from Kungarna come back from spawn, but is it going to be enough as Who Are You does have the blade good to go. It's all about that cleanup, and they do get it in the end with 40 seconds left on the clock.
But what that does is give slightly more time for Kungarna to have an opportunity themselves. Obviously, with it being payload, they would have gotten the 1 minute either way, but now they have a pretty close time bank to work with. 46-second differential between the two. And we saw how the first point, Fusion University likes to kind of prod and poke at the beginning. And we might see them do that again, or they might just decide to just throw it all on the table, go for a back hold on the back point, just holding up top on high ground, and see what they can do with that. Who Are You? Going to be on the Genji, so we will see likely a Genji versus Genji again, although we have seen Zyre go to the Widow in the past. He might pull that out here, but I don't know, given the stakes, they might want I guess the momentum build that you can get out of a Genji with the full dive, especially if they just go ahead and jump right in onto the supports in the backline, who won't really have the same support as they would as if you know, a soldier was in play or something up on that high ground with them.
And it's going to come down to those first few picks, of course, with 1 minute on the clock. You're going to have to commit a lot of those members on that payload to make sure, at the very least, you get as much distance as possible. And we'll see a pretty forward hold here. Once again, coming out of the side of Fusion University as YU will scout things out for the rest of his team. And as a result, Elk still sitting up on top next to those boxes. We'll see whether or not he's going to look to regroup the rest of his team soon enough. But so far, already on towards that car wash for the payload.
Pressing up on that high ground. This time it's Izire winning out the duel between the Genjis as they secured that kill and an opening for them to now get aggressive. They're looking now for Alarm in the background and they find the kill. That's a 6v4 advantage now as Who Are You is still trying to make his way back, make it a 6v3. Kungarna will surge forward with an advantage. Even still, Jesus now on the point. They still have to contest with Zachary and he's going to try to kind of play it slow right now, taking the duel between him and Jesus, and Izire still cleaning things up on the point. Very close to having the blade. They will get...
They do get the point, but it's still an all-out brawl. However, the target calling coming out of Kungarna is pretty good, as they will look to still, at the very least, try and get a little bit more distance pushed on that payload. The nanoboost was used onto Beast Halo, and as a result, he got a kill onto Haku, but the respawn will be pretty close enough for the attacking side. However, Primal Rage will look to displace this offensive team as the blade is going to come out of his eye as he gets one kill, but gets punished afterwards. However, Harblu still on the point. Who Are You will answer with a blade of his own. Gets the D-suit. No one on the point. Overtime ticking through, and it will be in the end Fusion University holding off, but Kungarna still get that first point at the very least.
All off the back of Who Are You being eliminated and then just having that opening to get aggressive and take the dive to Alarm. That's exactly what I was talking about before. You know, when you know that they're going to try to have that type of hold, when you know that they have a kind of vulnerable backline up on the high ground, if they already use their mobility cooldowns to try to, you know, poke at you, they won't have the ability to counter dive. So when we saw them get aggressive, they already had the advantage. There was nobody back there to help out because they actually had Who Are You on the Genji pick, and they didn't really have anybody back to help because there wasn't really a tracer up there either at the time. You know, Alarm is by himself. He's out on an island essentially, and they were just able to get more of an advantage there and then take it again even further by finding the kill onto Beast Halo as well. So things opened up well for them on that point, but then just fell flat with the close spawns that we saw out of the hangar phase as soon as they capped, and they only snuck the point, but still they secured it. And that's big news here for a 146 hold that we know Kungarna is capable of actually holding out on if they execute properly here.
But the interesting thing is now they will put Izire on that Genji once again, so we'll not have that soldier pick to really make sure counter dive is all that stronger for them. But on the other side will be Zachary once again on the Widowmaker. So as said, if he can find those sidelines, if he can get any picks to start things off here, it's gonna make it easy for his team to make sure that they do get that first point, but already diving in aggressively, or rather the counter dive as well. It will be Vita Coco dropping really low, and this Ari gets punished. However, Who Are You goes down as well, but in the end it will be Zachary with a double kill, making it a 5v4, and things are looking good for Fusion University as they will look to hunt J3 down on that tracer. However, he should be able to regroup with the rest of his team, who will potentially look to at the very least contest this point before they Fusion University, that is, get it. And Zachary's still uncontested on the server, means that Who Are You is going to be able to pick off Vita Coco.
Who Are You very aggressive with his positioning right now, backed 3 out into the hangar, and they're just going to go forward 1 meter away. They have plenty of time at the moment, and they are finding the kills. Kungarna now, they look to try to secure this as Jesus has the pulse bomb, but they shouldn't need it. Izire comes through, finds the kill on Elk, and Kungarna now have time to get back into position and see if maybe they can hold out on what will likely be the last fight of this map. This one will determine who will take the first point in the series, and it's going to come down to this. Harblu coming back with his mech now, and Jesus does have the pulse bomb, so we'll see what he can get done with it.
It might come down to the Genji matchup as both of them are really close to that blade, so we'll see whether or not they can get something done and a pick off of it. However, Alarm might have his Transcendence as well, so it's going to be a really close one. J3 is going to go for the sticky. It's going to get the D-suit and already looking good for Kungarna, but can they keep it up as nobody's on the payload? The Dragon Blade is going to come out, and as a result, they will get the point, and it will be a late Transcendence, but the Retaliation is going to still come through, but the counter Transcendence will be there out of Alarm, and it will be Fusion University winning it out in the end with a close one at that, making it a 1-0 start for them.
And I don't think anybody, myself included, would have expected to see a result like this going into this series. Fusion University and Kungarna just seemed like a mismatch coming away from the Beat Invitational, but it's not looking like that's the case anymore, is it? I mean, it's looking like a excellent series between these two, and we've got more of that to come in map number 2. Don't go anywhere, guys. That'll be on the other side of this commercial.
And we are back once again at the analysis desk. It does seem that we have a competitive match in our hands. Kungarna looking great, even though Fusion University won. I was really impressed the way Kungarna played, especially on the last point in the regular time. They stalled for so long. It was just amazing to see.
Oh yeah, most definitely, and I gotta give huge props to the likes of course, Azire on that Genji, who in the second to last team fight, he managed to get that Widowmaker in the server room, clean up a few extra kills onto the likes of Alarm, which really opened up the possibility for Kungarna to potentially actually get the win. However, in the end, it came down to the execution and those ultimates being charged up quicker, ever so slightly for Fusion University. They capitalized and they secured the win.
I mean, as you said, the match came down to a teeth. A single fight decided everything. But I do feel like Beast Halo was dying way too much, and that's what kind of hindered the defense of Fusion University. Now, coming up next, we have Hanamura. What's your thought?
It's hopefully and most likely looking to be another close one. And I can't believe that I'm going to say this, but we might actually go to a third map considering how close that first series was, rather.
Yeah, I mean, looking back at the Horizon, Fusion University did seem a bit weaker on those types of maps, so we might see a bit, maybe a third map, as you said. Now, it does seem that Fusion University is going to start on defense. Do you think this is going to give them an edge?
Unfortunately, not mostly because they are so aggressive. As you said, Beast Halo dying a bit too much when it comes to really going forward on that Winston as you would like. And it's, again, the offense where they really shine.
And it does seem that Heiku is going to play once again for Kungarna. Do you think this is a good move by them?
It can definitely pay off. I mean, once again, it's really interesting to see their swaps. They've been swapping Chain and Vita Coco a lot, but also when it comes to those DPSs, they could make a few swaps. So again, we'll have a potential different look coming out of them.
Match is ready. Casters, take it away.
So getting ready for it now. Hanamura is online. And now we're looking like offensively, it's going to be another dive setup for Fusion University with Elk bringing out the Ana. And this is something I've noticed a lot between EU and NA. Obviously, the patch came through, the anti-Junkrat, anti-Mercy patch came through, but we haven't seen as much tank so far, you know, as opposed to what we saw in EU, where even on both sides we were seeing a lot of tank. But now finally we do see some of it here, as Kungarna pulls it out again for us. 4 tanks for them, starting things off, and that dive is in play for Fusion University.
But we saw how effective those Bionades can be versus these tanky lineups, and so far it is Kungarna getting a really good time here, potentially already having that first stick on the board, I believe. We're very, very close, almost getting it, and as a result, it will be a back and forth. Coalescence already being charged for Haka. The pulse bomb is gonna go through. However, it doesn't find the kill, and Huayu will have that blade. A lot of that's being built up in terms of the charges, but Harblue gets punished as it will be a 1-for-1, 5v5 for now. Azire, though, getting Huayu, who was rather not capable of getting much done off of the Dragon Blade, means that the Sound Barrier, even though it does come a bit late, should secure the deal here for Kungarna on this first point.
Alarm with great positioning right now. We'll have to see if they can swing things. Zachary still on the point, still contesting, but control obviously very much in favor of Kungarna with all these tanks on the point. It's going to be hard to try to encroach on that, and that will likely not be the case. They're still coming in, though. Alarm will die off as he shows himself for just a short amount of time, and Izire will go ahead and find that pick with the chain hook. Now starting off on Objective B, Elk is still on the Ana, and I do like this because, as we talked about, you know, that Biotic Grenade can really mean a lot in this type of matchup with this composition being brought here by Kungarna. And he also has the Nano Boost, which I think is likely to go into Beast Halo so that he can actually poke effectively with some good damage reduction and some damage boosting to him as well.
And we'll see, looking for Alarm. It will be Azire once again being huge on that Roadhog. Binance is going to potentially stop them as so many of them gets affected by the Who Are You, making it look easy with the Dragon Blade, trying to clean it up. And now Zachary gets the D-suit as well as the kill onto Jesus. It will be, in the end, Fusion University holding out strong, and they will at the very least still have that Transcendence available. But Elk really getting a good angle with that Bionade is what really shut him down.
And on top of that, I actually thought it was really interesting that they threw it onto the Nano Boost onto Who Are You, who is only at about 60-something%, but because of the nature of the style that you see from a quad tank setup with them just, you know, all stacked up and everything, he was able to, with that damage boost, dive right through, almost instantly get his blade, and then just start cutting down the aggressive tank composition, that lineup of Kungarna.
Azire once again opening things up for his team, makes it a Transcendence forced out of Alarm, but Elk answers with a big kill onto Harblue because he had that Graviton, and as Alarm gets a kill onto Jer as well, it should be once again Fusion University holding out on the point, and where things could have potentially be looking good once again with Azire getting those entry picks. It's still Fusion University coming out on top.
I think Elk is pretty much 100% winning these fights for them. I mean, the Biotic Grenades have been insane. Consistent healing, some extra bit of pressure coming out from the Ana. I mean, they've just given him so much space to work with. There's really no aggression going towards this back corner that he's in. They finally find a kill onto Who Are You, but, you know, once he comes back from respawn, they will have the Nano Boost for him as well.
But now Chain is going to be taken down. Sound Barrier will be used offensive, or rather by the offensive team, as Desire gets another kill onto Crackalakin this time. And can we see them close it out as Coalescence will be used? However, that Primal Raging Beast Halo will look to do something against Who gets the Nano Boost, but the Graviton is going to make things very difficult for him to get anything done off of it. And as a result, the Bionate finds a lot of targets, but can they clean it up again? As Transcendence will be forced out. Alarm coming out down onto the point. No techs achieved yet. Pulse Bomb is not going to find any kills. However, Azire's going to go out, and look at this already. The Coalescence is back and ready to go. Another big Bionade, but the follow-up once again not quite there. Means that it's still going to be an all-out brawl, and we'll see Jesus now lose that mech, and things are again looking better and better for Fusion University.
And you look at the point control throughout that fight too, and it was pretty much just always Fusion University, which is interesting to take note of because, you know, with a quad tank lineup, you would actually expect that it would instead be the team that has all of the tanks, right? Like Kungarna should have had control, but they were just backed up into that corner, again giving space to Elk, and the biotic grenades really kind of stuck them in there, where finally we saw the swing. Fusion University was able to just get it out of respawns. So great stuff. Initially we saw a good Graviton to lessen the effect of the nano boosted Dragon Blade of Who Are You, but now they have to come back in with their dive composition. They've adjusted, they swapped things up, and we'll have to see if this can get the job done instead.
And the problem for them is that looking out for now, it will be Who Are You already with the Dragon Blade, and on top of the Nano Boost is gonna look for those squishy targets. He gets the first one onto Haku, finds a few more with the help of Beast Halo, and they will once again hold out strong with this defense. Those two ultimates were committed, but they're just buying time. They're just wanting to basically stall for as long as possible, as this will stop the likes of Kungarna from getting anything done for around 30 seconds to 1 more minute. And as you said, making those swap means they will have a disadvantage when it comes to those ultimates as well in these few team fights. But we'll see whether or not can make anything happen, as the Blade as well as the Nano Boost being down. That potential assassination coming out of Who Are You was lessened for sure.
Well, Who Are You still poking, and with this extra bit of time, we're seeing Who Are You give time to allow himself to actually generate another blade. He's getting off a lot of damage right now, but this dive is coming out. Beast Halo with the Primal Rage trying to stay alive. Does manage to get that small health pack and get back over to Elk, who is now going to be able to get his Nano Boost very quickly. If he's able to get Beast Halo back up to full. Who Are You hanging on for dear life? They still have point control now, but Jesus with a massive pick again onto Beast Halo.
Gets him right before he gets to the Transcendence as well. Mid-jump and pick up a kill onto Alarm means that things are going to be very difficult here potentially for Fusion University, as the Dragon Blade will come out. Desire, can he find the kills? He gets one, but can he get more, as the Nano Boost will come out on top of Who Are You, which means he does have that blade again, and with it he picks up 1 kill, he picks up a second, as Elk cleans up Chain as well, and they hold out strong with no ticks achieved for Kungarna.
Fusion University holding well on point B now. They completely silenced the quad tank, and now they're in the process of silencing the dive. Kungarna with another opportunity here. They might have 2, but right now, I mean, with how slow it's taken them to get back into position here, to get everybody back into ready for the fight, and it is to be expected given their last fight. I mean, this is probably their last effort here. This is all or nothing now on objective B. Can they get it sorted here or not?
And once again, off to the side, it will be the tanks engaging from the side of Fusion University. A lot of those targets going low, especially Azire, but he will manage to get healed back up. Crackalakin managing to hold on to his suit as well, but Chain now with the Primal Rage. Who Are You does go down to Haku, so that might be the opening pick they needed, as Alarm used that Transcendence as well. Self-destruct will be used, doesn't find any targets. Pulse Bomb again, coming out of J3, but the jump from Beast Halo makes sure he gets the kill onto Jesus in return, and the Transcendence coming out of Haku now will look to, at the very least, build up something in terms of those ticks on the point here for Kungarna. Can they make anything happen? As Desire gets a double kill, and now Krakenlaken goes down. The Palm Rage is gonna come out, but one tick will be achieved. Sound Barrier used as well. Beast Halo not quite in position to contest as he's gonna go down eventually, and maybe, just maybe, Kungarna can get that third tick in the end too.
Who Are You has been completely taken out of the equation these last couple of times he's come out of respawn. If he can get back in there, Jer coming through as well. Gonna be taking out Zachary, but they're really just waiting on Who Are You here. If he can come back through with the blade, this might be an opportunity as the Transcendence comes out. Again, buying time. Who Are You? The Nano Boost comes out. They actually already found the kills. They don't even need Who Are You.
It will be them holding out in the end, but at the very least, for Kungarna, they do manage to find a lot more in terms of that percentage, so not all is lost for them. But the unfortunate thing is the fact that Fusion University, here's where they really get to shine. It's when it comes to those offensive push and really catering to their aggressive playstyle, means that it's going to be a tough task of Kungarna to win this one out, to secure that third map potentially for them.
Now we'll see a side swap. It looks like Ezire will be on a Junkrat, so they might be expecting that tank-heavy lineup themselves. Beast Halo probably swapping to the Reinhardt. And if that is the case, we'll have to see if the Junkrat will be enough to displace and cause a little bit of a ruckus with the concussive mines and everything, and the primary fire damage, so that Jer can have a pocket, an opening, to do exactly what we saw just a moment ago from Elk, where the biotic grenades really having a profound effect at canceling out the healing for these tanks to just be completely choked out, suffocated, and then they take the fight from there. We'll have to see if that is going to be the case or not, but looking at the attack, it looks like that will be the lineup we're looking for here, the tank lineup of Fusion University.
And when it comes to Junkrat, against those tanky lineups we've seen, especially in the EU scene with the likes of Kib on the team of those guys, really able to not only charge up those Riptires really quickly, but the way he used those mines to really make sure the Reinhardt gets bounced up into the air, unable to do anything to shield his team, opened up a lot of things for them. But now that we'll see Fusion University take their shot at that quad tank setup, look to see whether or not that they can push in aggressively and have as much success as their opposition had.
Well, Ezire getting off a lot of damage, but Zachary will find the kill very early on. Now they've lessened the threat. Kungarna still has their supports very safe up top on some high ground. Biotic Grenade going to be canceled out. So far, Krakenlaken has done a good job of nullifying that ability, and 2 ticks already on the board as Chain is going to be chased off, likely to just jump off the map, actually. And Haku dying off at the end there as well. Now remember, they only need to get 93.3%, and they have over 7 minutes to get it.
And Zachary being charged up on Desire makes sure that he's already halfway there towards that Graviton, and a good Bionade will at the very least connect on top of 2 members of Fusion University as Jesus gets a kill onto Beast Halo, a second one onto Elk, and maybe he can hold onto this defense as he will find Alarm in the end as well. And finally, Kungarna retaliate with a few kills on the board and a good defense.
Gonna take more time now. Krakenlaken still trying to make his way off the map and will finally die off, but overall that push right there will cost them roughly a minute now before they're able to engage again. And now when they come back in though, they will have a couple of options if they take their time, get a little bit of poke off, you know, maybe get aggressive, try to find an early pick just to generate that Graviton as soon as possible, because when they do, they will have some backup. Coalescence will keep them in the fight for some time, and then they're going to need the sound barrier pretty soon after that.
But the good thing with that teamfight win is the fact that they managed to charge up a lot of those ultimates in this lineup of Kungarna. But now Rift Air is going to be used. Nano Boost on top of that. Winston Desire manages to find the DC as well as the kill onto Elk. But the Graviton is going to come through. Transcendence will be the answer. Bionade will keep Huaryu potentially out of the fight as he's going to be bounced around. However, the Air Shatter might clean things up here as Beast Halo connected onto those tanky members. And now Self-Destruct will be used. However, the shields will be there for Fusion University as they will have the Soundbarrier as well. It's going to come down to these stalls. Can somehow Kungarna bring things back around as the kills are all in favor of Fusion University, looking to close it right here and right now.
Oh, Jared backed up into a corner. Huaryu will find that kill, left very low by Zachary just before. And with Zachary up so high on his energy right now, you have to expect Fusion University should be able to take this. I mean, if they start getting taken down a little bit, soon enough, he will have his Graviton to follow up with it. And he's coming back into this one. Coalescence from Alarm, keeping everybody very safe. Graviton comes down. Nobody can make it to the point. Now the Riptire comes out, but that will be that. Fusion University takes it decisively this time from Kungarna and take Hanamura to get the 2-0 very early for them.
But at the very least for Kungarna, really making it difficult for Fusion University when it comes to Gibraltar means that they are definitely gonna be still heading